Hey everyone, my name is Kristee and we're going to be doing a floor-based yoga sequence today. So this session is going to be really soft, slow and relaxing. We're going to have a lot of time to pause in poses and to give your body the moment it needs just to settle into the mat, really melt as much as it can into the floor. We will be using some props for today's class, so I'm going to be showing you those now. We do have blocks that are going to be used. If you have two, it would be great. If you only have one, that's okay. If they don't look like this and they're a bit of a different shape, that's fine too. And if you really don't have blocks at home, you can also use a towel that's been tightly rolled up because it will still be a little bit of the same height, it might just be a little bit wider as well. We will be using a blanket today to get really cozy in our meditation too. So if you have a blanket, have it close by. You can also have a jumper and some socks or slippers if you really want to. And of course, grab a drink bottle and have drink breaks throughout class. If anything in today's class isn't feeling right, please move out of it slowly. Maybe just don't sink into it as far. Today, I really want to stay within the 60 to 80% range. So make sure you're not going really far into the 100%. I want to stay in a nice, comfortable zone. And if there are any modifications for particular moves, I will be letting you know those throughout the class, as well as any issues that you might be having. Today we're going to be focusing on the top half of the body. We're going to be doing a little bit of heart openers, lots of chest movements, lots of side body stretches. So if you do have any injuries in the head, neck, shoulders, maybe across the sides of the body, just keep those in mind and make sure you stay comfortable. We're going to be starting on the ground because this is our nice comfy session. So we're going to be laying down some options for you here. You might space those feet apart, bring those knees together. That's going to help soften the lower back. Or you might take those feet together, knees apart. You might even straighten out those legs and lay down fully flat. Doing whatever you need to be comfortable. And you can place those hands on the stomach, the chest, or they can be alongside the body. We're just going to take a moment to settle in, connect with the body too. So close down your eyes, connect in with your breath and give yourself the time to focus on how the body feels. So we're not trying to control the breath right now. And we're just letting it move throughout the body. If you would like to lengthen the breath, you're welcome to, but don't feel the need to force it. This is your practice, this is your yoga. So do what's right for your body. And then slowly draw the awareness through the body. Notice if there's any areas of tension, maybe any injuries. And then also notice some areas that are feeling really open, really strong or flexible. This is your range for today's class. So stay within your range, stay comfortable. And understand that that range is there to keep you safe. In today's class, if you need to as well, you might like to breathe out through the mouth, give a little sigh. Let anything go and release a little bit deeper. Then we're going to start to wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes. We're going to take a big breath in. We're going to reach those arms up overhead. We're going to point those toes as well. Give a big stretch. And then slowly relaxing and releasing back into your mat. Taking another big breath in, this time interlacing the fingers, turning the palms to face outwards, flexing those feet. Different sort of a stretch here. And then slowly releasing out, bending those knees, hugging the knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice little cuddle and a slight rock side to side. And we're going to start off our class with a little twist. So twists, usually I like to keep them towards the end of the class because your body's nice and warm and it's ready for that big, deep movement. But today we're going to do it at the start and another one at the end. So if you do need to adjust yourself, you can use a block here if you need, but we're going to open our arms out to either side of the room and then slowly take our knees over to whatever side they would like to fall. Let them sink down all the way. The closer the knees are in towards the chest, the deeper the stretch is going to be. So if you'd like to loosen it a little bit, you can take those knees further away from the body. The head can look across the opposite arm for a bit of a deeper twist. And if you want a little bit of a different stretch across the chest, you can also bend those arms into a cactus shape. Give yourself a few moments here. Today is going to be about really settling into things. So take the time to settle. If something's not right, readjust the body. You don't want to be uncomfortable for an extended period of time. And in today's class, you can also take those moments to really close those eyes and sink into the mat a bit more. We're going to slowly bring those knees back into center. Take yourself over to the other side. Once again, the closer the knees are towards the chest, the deeper the stretch is going to be. The arms might be extended or they can be bent, whatever feels good. We do want both of our shoulders to be in contact with the mat. The head can look up or it can look out across the opposite shoulder for a bit of a deeper twist. So here we're not only getting a twist that's helping to give a little stretch across the spine and maybe across the tops of the hip and leg, but because we've got both shoulders in contact with the mat, we're really giving the chest a chance to open up as much as it can. And by the end of today's class, I hope that as you breathe, you feel that that breath is really full because we've expanded through that chest and really given it plenty of room to move. This class will be particularly beneficial. Bring your legs back into the middle. This class will be particularly beneficial if you've been doing a lot of work on your computer lately or watching a lot of Netflix. You need to make sure that your spine is given plenty of room to really open up and you're not slouching forward too much. Bring those knees and rock them side to side. We are going to come up to a seated position from here. I'm going to give you two options for that. So you can either roll to one side and then slowly come up to a seat, or for a little bit of energy, we're going to chuck the chin in towards the chest. Give yourself a little rock, a light rock this time, not too crazy, and it will just help to round out through that lower back. And then come up to a seated position. Bringing ourselves to a seated position. So, if sitting cross-legged isn't comfortable for you, you do not have to sit cross-legged. You can have those legs out in front. They might be open in a straddle position, or if you've got really tight hips, this is when you can use your block to place it underneath the bottom, and it will help to lift your body up a little bit, open up those hips, and also give you a straighter spine. We're going to be moving through the head and neck now, so you can keep your eyes closed for this and just listen to my voice if you'd like to. If you get a little bit lightheaded, please slow down the movement. Just going to start by looking side to side. You can take this as far as you need to the side. You can keep it slower if you'd like to as well. Just give that neck a bit of room. And then looking up and down like you're nodding your head. Is this class good? Yeah, nod your head. And when our chin is at our chest, we're going to keep it there. Let gravity do a bit of the work here. Just allow your head to become really heavy. Feel that nice stretch you get across the back of the neck. And then we're going to deepen it a bit using our hands to help. We're going to interlace those fingers. Take the hands on top of the head, draw the elbows down towards the face, and give a light pull. Slowly releasing out those hands, taking the hands onto either side of the neck, still drawing those elbows in nice and close. Let the head fall back here for a bit of a deeper stretch across the front of the throat. Keep the mouth closed and try to lift the chin up to the ceiling. Slowly releasing out of that one, releasing those hands down too into the lap. We're going to take our ear over towards one shoulder, keeping the head facing forward. We want to keep our shoulder away from the ear. So even though we're bringing our ear down, we don't want to meet our shoulder there too. We want to keep it nice and far away. If you'd like to deepen this stretch, you can take the same hand as whatever shoulder you're moving towards on top of the head to pull down, give a nice little light stretch. The opposite hand can stay put, or if you want to deepen it even more, you can stretch that hand out as well. We're going to wiggle those fingertips back slightly, turn the nose down to the ground. Just changes where you're feeling that stretch through the neck. And then slowly releasing out, we're going to take it to the other side. Ear over towards the shoulder. You can take the same hand as whatever shoulder you're moving towards on the head. And then if you'd like to deepen it, you can extend that opposite arm away. If you do have any neck injuries or shoulder injuries and any of these are feeling uncomfortable, you can remove the hand and just let gravity do the work, maybe make it a bit lighter. You can also adjust as you need to keep the head moving. Take those fingertips back slightly, turn the nose down to the ground. And then slowly release out. And this is my favorite part. We're going to do some head rolls. So from one shoulder, we're going to move through the front of the body all the way over to the opposite shoulder in a semicircle shape. We're then going to come back the way we came. So close those eyes, really just allow yourself to move through these semicircles, these nice little head rolls. You can include the body here, so you might want to really flow through it with the body. You can do full circles, just make sure the back of the neck's feeling comfortable and make sure you're going in both directions. And then give a couple more circles. And slowly bring them back to the center. Roll those shoulders back. Roll those shoulders forward. We are going to do a nice little twist here for that spine again. So we're going to take the opposite hand across the body towards the knee and then use the other hand behind you, both together to push and pull, create a nice little twist. We're going to come back to center and take it to the other side. Slowly bring it back into the middle. We're going to bring our body forward now into a nice little forward fold. So we're going to bring our feet into our Baddha Konasana position. So our soles of the feet together, knees nice and wide. This is our butterfly pose. If this position isn't comfortable for you, you can extend those legs out instead. You'll notice I still am sitting on a block. So if you are someone that has very tight hips, if you feel like you're not really able to lean forward too far, you can use the assistance of a block. I'm going to move to the side here so that you can see. You can use the block, sit on the very edge of the block, and it will help to tilt those hips forward. If sitting on the block's not comfortable, you can remove it. And we are going to slowly walk those hands forward, letting our head relax in towards our feet. Now, as we come here, if you find that the legs aren't right, adjust them. They might need to come in closer, they might need to move further away, you might need to open them out. You want to be comfortable here because we're really focusing on rounding out through the spine and relaxing through it as much as possible. If the back of the neck's not feeling comfortable here, this is when you can use another block if you have it close by, or a blanket or a pillow. And you can place your head on the block too, which will really just help to give the neck the chance to soften and release out, and then you can always adjust it and lower the block down as you become more comfortable. We're going to take a few moments here to really settle in, so close down those eyes, connect in with the breath. You might like to breathe out through the mouth again, give a little sigh, let go, sink a bit deeper. This will feel really nice for those hips as well. And then we're going to slowly come out of this one. Use the hands to guide the body back up. Bring the knees together and give yourself a little rock side to side. We are going to remove that block now. And then we're going to do a nice little stretch here across the chest. So I like to come up onto my knees for this one and sit onto my heels. If this is too much for you, you can stay sitting on the ground cross-legged, and you can use the block here still to support you if you need. But we are going to do some nice stretches through the arms, and I'm going to move back and forth to show you all different angles, but you can stay put if you need to. I'm going to start by extending the right arm up overhead, the left arm down. We're then going to bend our elbows and try to touch our hands together. I'm going to turn around so you can see what's happening behind my back. So we're going to try and reach our hands together. If they're touching, try to bend the fingers and really squeeze together. We want to keep our chest nice and flat and open, our elbow facing up and down. And you can see when I'm on the side, I'm not kind of leaning in to try and get it. I want to keep everything nice and open here. You can use a strap for this one. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can use a belt buckle, you can use a dog lead, you can use the drawstring of a dressing gown, whatever really you have that's rope-like, and you can use that to assist you, but we're not going to be here for too long. Breathe into that nice open chest, and then we are going to slowly release out. So release those hands, bring them back up, wind them around, and then swap sides. Now our left arm is up high, right arm is down low. We're going to reach those hands as close as they can get and then squeeze those fingers to draw them together. Nice open chest. Now this is something you might notice, each side's very different. So if one side feels like you were able to really easily get it and then the other side feels like they're about 2 meters away from each other, I promise they are not. It will just feel a little bit odd. Make sure you keep that chest nice and open, breathing into that space you're creating. You're also getting a bit of a heel stretch here. And then slowly release those fingers, release those arms, give those shoulders a quick roll out, those hands a quick shake, and then come onto all fours, untucking those toes and giving them a quick little smack if they have been tucked in. We're in our tabletop position now, so our shoulders are in line with our wrists, our hips are in line with our knees, and we're going to be moving through some cat-cows. So inhale, look up towards the ceiling, drawing the chest down towards the ground, the sit bones apart. Exhale, tucking the chin in towards the chest and pushing up through the shoulder blades. Inhale to look up, and exhale to look down. Continue in your own rhythm, your own time. You can make this movement as slow or as fast as you need to. 2 more for me. And once you've completed those 2, we're going to keep those hips where they are. We're going to walk those hands forward, draw the chest down towards the ground, and take either the chin or the forehead to the floor for what is called puppy pose. So this is kind of like a little weird downward dog. Some people also call it melting heart because you are sinking the heart down nice and low. This is giving you a really lovely, juicy stretch across the front of the chest, in those armpits and across the collarbones. The head is a bit of an odd position here, so that's why you can either take it to the chin or the forehead. One of them will be comfortable. And make sure you're not falling forward through the hips. We want to keep everything nice and flat through those legs. Slowly walking those hands back. And we're going to do a variation of that now using our props. So if you don't have props, and if you're finding that this is a little bit too low to the ground for you, you can also use the edge of the chair, but we are going to be using our prop blocks, so we want to have a nice wide surface. You can still have a towel there if you'd prefer. And we're going to place our elbows down onto our block, bring our palms together. So our elbows want to be enough space so that we can get our head through, so around our shoulder distance apart. You can even take them slightly wider if you do have very tight shoulders. We're going to sink our bodies back, slowly drop our bodies down to the ground like we did for our melting heart, and take the head down to the ground if it can get there. We're then going to try and bring our thumb towards the middle of the shoulder blades, and this is going to give you a nice little stretch along the triceps. If you're not quite feeling this one, like I said, you can do it on the edge of the chair. Just make sure you're not going to slip off the edge of the chair. And it doesn't matter if your fingers aren't touching the middle of the shoulder blades. If they're a little bit off, that's fine too. Slowly taking those hands away from the body. I like to place them on the floor and then use them to bring myself back up. And we're just going to give our body a few moments rest. So give those shoulders a bit of a rock, do a little slight twist. Hopefully everything on the top half of the body is feeling nice and open now. And we are going to move quickly through a nice little laying position, a prone position. So we're going to come down onto our stomachs for this one. And this is just a bit of a weird one to do. So if you're finding that the shoulder's not quite comfortable, please adjust as you need to. I will be moving around different angles to show you how it's working. I'm going to start by facing the camera and then I'm going to turn around to show you what the arm's doing behind the body. We're going to extend our left arm back so that it's extending out nice and straight. Palm is facing down. Our palm and our wrist are in line with our shoulder. Right arm is coming on the floor and our right foot is going to come up. We're then going to push against the floor so that we tilt our body over. We use this right leg as a little kickstand, hold on to the ground, and you can keep the right arm where it is too. We want our head to be comfortable here, so if it's not comfortable you can take a block underneath or you might just need to readjust where it is, but we want to try and stack our shoulders over the top of each other to get a nice deep stretch. You can stay there, but I'm just going to spin around to show you what the arm is doing behind the body. So our arm is extending out nice and straight. To deepen this one, you might spread those fingertips and press the palm really deep into the floor. You can also bend at the elbow for this one. That is a deep, deep position and it will get deeper into the pecs across the front of the chest. So make sure you're comfortable enough for that one before you give it a go. The opposite arm, so that right arm, can come behind you, palm facing out, and then you can bring your legs down. I like to bend them close together so that I still feel like my body weight isn't going to fall out of it and let me roll out of this position. We want to stay here for a nice amount of time to give the body a bit of a moment of rest, to really get into that deep stretch. If you find that the back hand is tingling a little bit, know that that's perfectly okay. We aren't in here long enough for it to be an issue. Slowly bring your right hand out. Use the body to roll out of it. Turn the head and bring the arm down alongside the body, and then we're going to move to the other side. Extending out our right arm this time, using our left foot and our left arm, and roll the body over, resting the head on the ground. Remember, our palm is facing down towards the ground. Our shoulder is trying to stack on top of the other. And once you're here, if your kickstand wants to readjust, you can move your legs. You can take your arm behind your back, palm facing out. The head should be comfortable, so readjust until it is. And then close down those eyes, connect in. The good thing about the second side is you kind of know what your body needs to get into, so you're able to settle a lot quicker. Slowly bringing your arm back down, rolling out of this one, and then we're going to push ourselves back to a child's pose. So with your child's pose, you can have your knees together, your head down, and your hands reaching towards the toes, or you can have your knees apart, hands reaching forward. Whatever feels most comfortable. If you have high or low blood pressure, please either take a block or a pillow underneath your body to feel comfortable. Slowly walking the body back. As promised, we're going to finish off with a twist. So we are going to come down onto our backs and we're going to bring our blocks close by and our blankets or our jumper, just in case we need them after class, or towards the end of class, I should say. So we're going to do our twist now. It's our restorative twist. It's a nice, lovely one. Just take a few moments laying down on your back. Things might need to move around a bit. You might need to hug those knees in, give yourself a quick rock side to side. And then we are going to do our restorative twist. So we're going to extend out our left leg, hug in our right. We're going to take our left hand across our right leg, extend out our right arm, palm turning up. We want to scoot our hips over towards that right side and then draw the knee across the left side of the body, keeping both shoulders in contact with the mat. And you can take a few moments here to really settle and release, get a nice deep twist. You can deepen it by looking out across the opposite arm. Slowly coming back to center, readjusting the body, and then swapping sides. We're going to extend out that right leg, take our right knee up, take our right arm across, and extend our left arm over, palm turning up. Scoot the hips over towards the left side, draw the knee down towards the ground. If the knee's not quite close to the floor, you can also use a block here to bring the ground to you. We want to keep both of our shoulders in contact with the mat though. So make sure that is happening and don't worry too much about what the knee is doing. Before slowly bringing back to center. And we're going to take our blocks into a nice supportive position for us to get an added heart opener to finish off. So if you don't have a block, once again, you can use the rolled up towel, you can use a pillow, up to you. But we're going to take the block into a T shape. So we're going to take the longest side of the block at the front, and then the top of the T is where our head will be. You can make the blocks higher if that's going to be more comfortable for you. And you can also play around. So you might have a lower one for the head, so you get a really deep stretch, or you might have a lower one for the body, and then a higher one for the head. Whatever's going to feel most comfortable for you for the meditation, because we will be here for that time. Put on your layers now if you do need to as well. And we are going to shuffle so that we're about 10 centimeters away or so from our block. We want to keep our lower back away from that block and our bottom on the floor. I'm going to take my feet together, knees apart, because my hips like a little bit of space after all those heart openers. But you can also just extend those legs out, or you can keep the knees bent, whatever feels best for you. Carefully lower yourself down onto your block. You might need to readjust as you come into it. I've found that maybe I needed to space my top of my T further away, and then I need to straighten that one out too. It should be in the middle of the shoulder blades, so it should feel comfortable, and it's not near our lower back. It's up a little bit higher towards our middle and upper back. Once you're here, get cozy, get yourself settled in. You might like to hold on to the body, or you might like to really extend the arms out. Taking the arms out too wide or too high though is probably going to be uncomfortable now that we're on the blocks. So make sure that they are going to be comfortable for the whole time, and then close down those eyes. Connect in with the breath. Think of that nice open chest that you've got here, and allow yourself to melt across the top of your blocks. As you sink into this meditation today, I'd like you to bring your awareness to the breath. Feel the gentle rise and fall of the stomach and chest as you breathe in and as you breathe out. I'd like you to imagine that your body is made up of a series of connected fairy lights. I'm going to slowly move down to the feet. We're going to imagine that we're pulling out one bulb at a time, turning off those lights and allowing that body part to soften and release and relax. So moving up through the feet, and then along the legs, the past the knees, along the thighs and into the hips until your legs are no longer lit up. They're now twitched off, coming up through the stomach, the sides of the body, the spine, coming up through the chest, the shoulders, switching off those lights as you go, and then coming down through the arms, the biceps and triceps, the elbows and the forearms, the wrists and the hands, till the body is in darkness, has switched off, is able to melt and let go. Coming up through the neck and into the head, across the face. Until soon, all of those fairy lights are switched off. And you're allowed to just settle, to be, and to be still. Slowly start to lengthen the breath, become more aware of your body as it rests on the blocks and on your mat. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. If your knees are apart, use your hands to guide them together. Then we're going to carefully move off of our blocks, move them out of the way to lay down flat. Let the spine connect in with the mat again. Those shoulder blades as well. Allow the body to rest here for a few moments. The chest is going to feel nice and open. It's not going to want to sink down to the mat. Bending those knees, hugging the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little cuddle. You might like to slightly rock side to side. Before rolling over to one side, take a few moments here in a comfortable fetal position. You can use the arm as a nice little pillow for the head. And then coming up to a seated position. Bringing the hands to the heart space in Anjali Mudra. Slowly blinking open those eyes if they aren't already. I'd like to thank you for your class today. Hopefully, like I promised, you're finding the breath is really full now. If you still have anything to let go, take a big breath in and breathe out through the mouth. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you, and I hope to see you again some other time. Thank you. Namaste.